Hey friends, welcome back to the Frizzandfrillzz channel. My name is Chloe. If you are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss any of my curly tutorials and tips. Today, we are gonna be doing a pretty cool video and one that I've been wanting to do for a while. Now, if you're not familiar with my normal styling technique, I normally am a finger coiler, okay? If you're not familiar with what that is, I'm gonna link it up above. You can see my full normal styling routine there. And today we're gonna do a half split head test, okay? We're going to be doing half finger coiling, my normal technique, my normal go-to styling technique. And the other half, if you didn't guess from the title of this video, is going to be using the Denman brush. Now, I've tried the Denman brush before. Wasn't a huge fan. I don't like really the handle. It just like slips right out of my hands, especially when I have a lot of product in my hands. And I just feel like I didn't get quite as much definition. That's one of the things I love about finger coiling because I'm able to get more days out of my wash. So by finger coiling, I normally get 5 to 7 days before I need to wash again because my curls are so defined, they don't frizz out so quickly. This, I found it kind of did, but it's been a really long time. It's probably been at least a year, if not potentially a year and a half, since I tried using this. So I figured, you know what? Let's do a direct split head test using the same products, same everything, except for the technique, and really see how it goes. So let's do it. Now, one of the things I need to do really quick right now is I need to go ahead and get the products into my hair, and I'm going to have it split. As you see, I already have it split right here. But today, what I'm gonna use for my styling, I'm not going to walk you through like how I apply my products, so that's not really what this video is about. Again, you can go to that video that I just talked about a couple minutes ago. But what I'm gonna use today is I'm gonna use my Briogeo Coil Custard. This stuff is phenomenal. Then we're gonna use the Curl Cream Gel from Imbue. I absolutely love this stuff. And then lastly, we're gonna use one of my all-time favorites. If you can't tell, this bottle has been through it a little bit. It is one of their deluxe sizes, the Curlsmith Souffle. So now that you know what I'm gonna be using, I'm gonna go ahead and put that on off camera, and then I will re-wet my hair and make sure that we are good to go for styling. Let's do it. Okay, so we have all of our product and our hair is very saturated with lots of cream, lots of leave-in gel to make sure that we have ample hydration because this girl's blonde bleached hair gets very dry. What we're gonna do is this side is going to be my normal side. So that's my left side. On the right, we're going to have the Denman brush side. Now, one of the things that I've already done, and please excuse all the hair that is now on my brush, but I went ahead and detangled with both sides with my normal Tangle Teaser brush. But this brush is literally like my holy grail detangling brush. I absolutely love it. I found it a little over a year ago, and it's the one I reach for time and time again, even when I try to stray. This thing is amazing and not a single bristle has broken, and I've had it for a year. So that's saying something if you ask me. But normally I would style and detangle with this brush, and then I'll finger coil. But on this side, I'm going to take this detangle and then style with this, because here's the deal with the Denman brush, because you don't want to get this wrong. This part is something that I learned as well and didn't know at first when I first got this brush. It is not a detangling brush as well. It is only a styling brush. It is meant to help define those curls, not to actually detangle. First and foremost, let's go ahead and walk through my normal side. So we're gonna scratch the Denman brush. We're gonna use this and my finger, and let's go. I like to separate into multiple sections, mainly because I have a lot of hair and very thick hair. So it's really important that I get into each section. Number one, for product distribution. Number two, so that I can really see what I'm doing and I don't get a lot of flat areas or like too thick of areas. So I start with the underneath, and I'm taking that detangling brush, just making sure that everything is nice and smooth. And I'm gonna start finger coiling. Now, like I said earlier, if you want to know like exact steps and like the reason behind what I do when I finger coil, you can go to that other video. I'll put it up here again so you guys can check that out. but I'm gonna run through, I'm gonna kind of fast forward this section so you can really just kind of get an idea of what finger coiling looks like for me as I take each section and run through it. Wait, hold on, I'm gonna time this because I wanna know exactly how much of a difference this is gonna make for styling time. Now let's begin. Now, after I'm done with that section, I will go in and just kind of scrunch, get things a little extra curly. And then if needed, I will go through with a little hair towel. This one is from Tea Owls. It's just like a really big, thick t-shirt towel, and it's awesome. And then I'll just kind of squeeze some of the extra, if there's any extra leave-in that is just like too much, it's gonna help not let your curls be as weighed down, and it's gonna help with dry time by doing that. And then if you want to, you could add a little bit of extra, just like a tiny bit of a high hold gel. Today I'm gonna use, I think, the In Shower Style Fixer. You can see that from Curlsmith. So you're just gonna take a little bit of this, and I'm just gonna bring that in, just kind of rope that through the ends, and then scrunch it in. And I'm gonna go through and do each section like this. Now, quick stop here. What you're gonna see is, you can see how wet and kind of creamy my hair is right here. It's extremely hydrated. So much so that my hair follicles can't take on any more product. They're fully saturated. And that's okay, but I wouldn't wanna leave all this product in here, which is why we bring in this little guy, a little hair towel, to scrunch out any excess moisture or excess product that just doesn't need to be there. Now you might see me going in with a little bit more souffle. Gel is like literally my best friend. So I like to make sure that I have at least a good saturation of that medium hold gel throughout. And then I might go in with a little bit more of it, the In Shower Style Fixer. One of the things too, when you are finger coiling, you're also helping your curls to separate so that they don't clump up together as much, which then will help save time towards the end of your styling so that you don't have to separate your clumps as much. There normally are still gonna be some clumps that you'll separate, but not as much as a lot of other methods I've tried. Okay, we are done finger coiling, and that took us about 13 minutes, okay, on one side. I also was stopping to do some exfoliations. Normally, if I am only finger coiling, that is the only thing that I'm worried about, then it takes me about on average 20 minutes. So I'm gonna take a little bit of that In Shower Style Fixer. You can see just how thick this is. And we're just gonna take that and we're just gonna run that over and scrunch. And lastly, we're taking that hair towel and just taking any of that extra excess moisture to help with our dry time. So now I just want to do a quick comparison. This side has not been touched. All it's had is just detangling, and it's been left. Okay, so it's pretty heavy. There's a lot of product in there. Over here, we've really taken the time. Like I said, it was about 13 minutes to really define these curls. Next step is to do the Denman brush method. I'm going to go through and re-wet these curls because they've had about 13 minutes to air dry. So we wanna make sure we're working with really nice and wet hair. We want it extremely damp, not necessarily 100% like dripping like out of the shower, but we want it really wet. That's gonna help a lot with definition as well if you're working with your hair when it's extremely wet. If you deal with it when it's kind of like a lightly damp, you're more than likely going to get more frizz. Fun fact. Run that water and that moisture right back through. Make sure those ends are really nice and wet. If you guys don't have a Flairsol spray bottle, you need one in your life. Period. I could not recommend this tool enough. With this side, we are gonna go through with both brushes because we have the detangling, like I said, we have the detangling brush, and then we have the Denman brush. This is the 7-row. You can see here, this is the 7-row Denman brush. One of the things that you can also do is you can take out rows. I haven't tried that, and I'm not going to try that today, so we're just gonna try the 7-row and see how it goes. Okay, so let's go ahead and separate what we're going to work on first. These are just little alligator clips and they are my saving grace. I use them all the time. They're also amazing to train your bangs back too if they fall on your face. Now I'm gonna go through, add a little bit more of that souffle gel. You can see all that product moving through my hair. Actually, Megan's by Mel uses this method. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start in the front and we're gonna do vertical little pieces. So what that means is we're gonna do thin pieces going long ways down, okay? We're gonna work our way front to back, back to front, etc. Always pulling it out away from our face. We might need to go through a couple times just to make sure everything's really nice and detangled. And then I'm going to just round this out around the brush and let them fall. And then we can kind of just go in and scrunch them like that, just like we would. So we're gonna go around and do it just like that. Oh wait, crap, I forgot. I forgot to restart my timer. Ooh, okay, that's where I'm gonna need this little guy. So with this method, I'm having to use 2 brushes too. You can see, if you guys see all that nice, beautiful separation, I do have to say it does a great job with that separation. So I'm kind of able to get individual curls, like probably like 7 or 8 individual curls with one type of the brush rather than going through and finger coiling them individually. You can definitely see in the back, I'm gonna start getting some clumps that would normally not happen with my typical method, but I'm not gonna mess with them. Normally these front curls by my face need a lot more TLC. I can tell you right now, these need to be more clumped. And I don't want my hair to just turn out frizzy right there because I don't think that's gonna be very fair. So we're just gonna do a few finger coils. Notice in both of these methods, I'm pulling away from my head. That's a really important step regardless of how you're styling, because it's going to help you make sure you get as much root volume as possible, because if you style down and you pull down, everything's going to dry more down. So the more you pull it out and away from your head, your roots will dry more out and away from your head. All right, guys, last section. We're gonna add a little bit more water, especially to that front. And these last few that are right around my face, I think we're just going to just kind of help them out. This is definitely gonna clump. How can I make that not clump? This is gonna be trial and error, I think. We did it. Let's see, what do we end up at time? 11 minutes and 50 seconds versus 13. I don't think that really saved me much time. Now, I might get a lot faster at this and I might already be very fast at this technique, but even if it takes me 7 or 8 minutes, it's only saving me like maybe 5 minutes. And that's not a lot of time to save. I don't know if that's gonna be really worth that small of a time savings. Doesn't really feel like it to me. Let's do a quick comparison, okay? So we've got the Denman brush side. What I see right here is I see a little less pieciness. I'm feeling kind of heavy. And you know what? We didn't really go through with the towel on this side. So let's just take a little bit of that extra cream product out of there. I feel like I have some more top volume right here than I do on this side. The ends actually look pretty similar, which I'm surprised by. The drying, that's really gonna be the true test. I'm gonna go ahead and start drying and we'll see what happens. Okay, so we are, I would say about 40 to 50% dry. I think we're getting a little more volume on the Denman brush side. I'm not too surprised by it because normally the less definition, the more volume. They normally go kind of opposites. Honestly, look really similar, which is one of the things that I wasn't sure if they would be. I'll touch back base, maybe 90% dry, and we'll see how it's doing then. Okay, so we are at about like 85, 90% dry. There's still some dampness, especially kind of like in the ends right now. But one of the things I'm already noticing for sure is that I'm seeing more defined clumps. I'm seeing more clumps on this side where I see a lot more separation, but not as much like juiciness as I get on this side. I'm not liking this side as much because I like a good clump. I like some juiciness. We love some juicy curls. So I'm gonna continue just finishing drying this and we'll see final results. Okay, we are fully back. It is 98% dry, I would say. We got maybe just a little bit of moisture in a couple areas, but like we're gonna call it a day. I'm still gonna go with my previous statement. This side, my normal side, has more clumps This side has more pieciness. I'm wondering if there are other Denman brushes that would create a thicker, more piecey curl that's got a little bit more juiciness. But overall, both sides still look really good. Did this side, though, save me a lot of time? I don't really think so. I'm gonna touch back with you guys here in about 24 hours. I really want to check and see what this is gonna do when it comes to longevity. And before we go, I am gonna go ahead and break this cast. If you guys haven't seen this new oil, this is the new Verb Moringa and Jojoba oil treatment. You can use this, it's like a multi-purpose oil. So I'm just gonna take a few drops of that and just rub that through my hands in order to just gently break any cast that's left and add to some of that extra volume that we know and love, and that's also going to help add some extra shine. I'm gonna touch base with you guys tomorrow and I will be right back. Okay friends, and we are back. So this is full day 2 hair. I have not refreshed at all. Normally I would wear my hair like this with my part a little bit more to the right, but to give us a true test, I split it back up, which looks a little funky. Honestly, I think both sides still look really good. I do think that I am going to get more frizz still over the week with this side because I don't have as many clumps. I can still see, as you can tell, especially on the top, that I have more clumps than I do on this side. They're a little bit thinner curls on this side than they are over here. But the ends, they actually look more similar than I thought they would. You're going to spend, I think, a little bit more time by finger coiling, which is my favorite method. But what I think I'm gonna start doing is doing a little bit of the Denman brush and just doing that in maybe some of my middle layers, and then finger coiling on those front areas, the ones that tend to have more frizz. I think I might do a little bit of in between. And will it save me much time? I don't know, maybe like 5 minutes. Probably, so it's not gonna save me a ton of time, but I think it will give me a little bit potentially more volume. I mean, they look almost identical. What do you guys think? Drop a comment and tell me which side do you think looks better. Try the Denman brush, try finger coiling. See which one I think feels better for you and works better for your curls. I do think that you have more capability of customizing how thick your curl clumps are with finger coiling than you do with a Denman brush. You could go through, take out some of the layers of the bristles, and there are different sizes, so you might be able to customize a little bit more that way. But I think finger coiling is an easier way to go about it, in my opinion, and that might be because I'm a little partial to finger coiling. Tell me what your thoughts are. Tell me which side you think looks better. I'd love to know if you guys see more of a difference than I do. If you guys have not yet, make sure you go down below and you hit that subscribe button so you never miss any of my curly tutorials and tips. So until next week, I will see you then. Bye guys.